I am Prince Kayode Moshood Akiolu. I represent Lagos Island Federal Constituency 2.
Chairman and honorable members of this committee, my name is Gabriel.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the House of Representatives, my name is Chibike Rotimi Amaechi. I'm the Minister for Transportation. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mr.
I'm the Minister of Police Affairs.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, distinguished minister colleagues, Babatunde Fashola, Minister of Works and Housing.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Deputy Chairman, very honorable members of this committee, my name is Mohammed Musa Bello, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Thank you very much.
And we give another 2 weeks interval so that your minister will be able to come, and your minister did not show. I think the committee will take appropriate action on that at the appropriate time to address that concern. That's what I feel. Any other representative from any other ministry? Yeah, please. And if we're elected and you decide to disregard the institution, which is the first arm of government, last time we invited your minister, he didn't appear. And this time I've also written 3 letters to him. And this time around, also we invited him, he didn't appear. I don't think I can even allow you to speak. You're not supposed to speak at all in this chamber. At your level, the committee will not, and it's not our tradition, to take on any person less than permanent secretary. So we will not entertain you in any way. So the committee, I need to put you on the known. So at the appropriate time, we'll take decision on that matter. You're overruled. Overruled. Any other agency, please? Why she will not make it? I told them to put a formal letter to the committee. Are you with the letter?
I don't have the letter.
So you don't need to speak about that.
Okay.
You don't have the letter. We communicate to each institution formally, unofficial. So you can do that before the close of this session.
Okay.
So that we can be able to allow you to make comments as regards the Ministry of Finance. Because your ministry is very, very important and key to this hearing. So you do that within the next 20 minutes or 30. So formally admit you to answer questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, you've heard from the executive side that have introduced themselves. During my interaction with the Honorable Minister for Works, I agree with him that under this COVID period, this place is really a little bit hot. If we're not taking you immediately, we can advise you to probably proceed to my office. We'll take good care of you there, give you the reception you need, especially the Minister of Works. We don't want to take you at the first instance now. The Minister of FCT and the Minister of Police Affairs. Okay? Your submission has not reached us. No, sir, you don't ambush us. I'm coming. Sir, when we wrote to you, sir, and we told you specifically that this submission should be submitted to us by 10th of this month. That's what we said. You are bringing it today, will not give us the ample opportunity to look at your paper. We did. We wrote to other ministers, they submitted theirs. Although some people ambushed us on Friday. So, probably we're not going to take you today. We'll take you tomorrow. So, we discharge you now. We'll take you tomorrow. So, there's no need waiting. We'll take your matter tomorrow. Is that agreed by committee? It's okay. Yeah, but you also cannot ambush us on the date of hearing.
You know, we received your letter on 3rd August, but somehow the letter was on my table. I got to treat it only a few days ago. So if we have not sent our reports in good time, I apologize.
Can we take you tomorrow?
With all pleasure.
Okay, we'll take you tomorrow.
Okay.
You just give us your submission.
No problem.
So we'll take you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Press, I welcome you to this second day hearing on the issue of agreement between Nigerians and China. This is my remark. Please, one house. One house, please. Honorable members, honorable ministers, head of departments and agencies of government, and other members of the public, I welcome you all to this resumed public hearing on the review of all Nigerian bilateral loans and contractual agreements. Before we proceed with the business of the day, I would like Nigerians and the general public to know that the House of Representatives Committee on Treaties, Protocols, and Agreements has an important role in reviewing and drawing the attention of federal government to content issues relating to due process, compliance with extant laws, transparency, accountability, local content provisions, procurement process, drawdown/disbursement schedules, management/commitment fees issues and repayment mechanism of these loans, and commercial contracts agreements in line with our constitutional mandate. The National Assembly, through this committee, will work to ensure that proper due diligence is taken by various MDAs before, during, and after negotiations/signing of all bilateral loans and contractual agreements. We believe that both the government and Nigerians appreciate the fact that bilateral loans agreements are not just about infrastructural development, but also a matter of national interest and national security, because the future of our children and unborn children are involved. As such, the effort of this committee to review the status of these agreements to ensure that it is done with the best interests of the Nigerian people in focus, monitor the progress of its operation, management, and administration by the relevant agencies of government, in line with the terms of the agreements, and recommend a more transparent and open process in accordance with our enabling laws and international best practices, should be seen by all stakeholders in Nigerian projects as a welcome development. Based on public statement and reporting alone, especially since our last meeting here, we have heard and seen comments and analysis of major television networks and national dailies by key actors, which have not accurately conveyed the severity of the issues and what the current structure of the loan/contract agreements may portend for our nations if not properly planned and managed well. We have heard some people ask why we are focusing on only Chinese-related loans and commercial contracts. We would like Nigerians to know that we aren't focusing on only Chinese loans. From what we know, Nigeria has over 500 bilateral loans and commercial contracts agreements and investment treaties with different countries and institutions. There is no way the committee will do a thorough job without segmenting the issues based on countries, institutions, or MDAs. Thus, it must be clearly noted that this is not targeted at only China, neither was it designed to impede the development of the railway sector and other infrastructures, but rather to ensure full disclosure, transparency, accountability, utmost good faith, and value for money in both the bilateral loans and commercial contracts agreements entered into by the Nigerian government. The loan agreement we have seen so far shows that government officials charged with responsibility of representing Nigeria in these issues were more desperate to just take the loan at any condition, possibly using non-negotiated loan agreement template rather than go through the rigors of diligent technical review of negotiating specific clauses with clarity and for the national interest. For instance, it is a common practice that most international loan agreements will adopt sovereign guarantee and a neutral international arbitration center, as opposed to waiving of our national sovereignty in an omnibus manner, especially in dealing with countries like China, known to possess an absolute state status on their institutions and corporations. Even in situations where countries, out of desperations and weak economic position, waive their national sovereignty in bilateral or commercial or contractual agreements, the immunity of sovereign waiver clause will usually be clear and categorically state specific asset associated with the loan for takeover in event of default. However, the immunity clause in most of these agreements before us are not only ambiguous, but very obscure. And without recourse to the fact that Nigerian government had issued circular on the subject matter with reference number SGF/OP/1/X3/X/1739, dated 11th August 2014, which is an executive order, that provided guidelines on issues of waiver of sovereign immunity clause during loan and commercial agreement negotiation. We expected government officials negotiating and signing these loans to fully comply with these guidelines and also ensure that clauses are couched to clearly reflect same. Arbitration centers of bilateral loans agreements are known to be generally on neutral grounds, unlike what we have in most of the Nigerian-China agreements, where Hong Kong, that is also governed by China law, was designated as an arbitration center. For the avoidance of doubt, it should be noted that Nigeria is a signatory to many international conventions, including the International Convention on the Settlement of Investment Dispute between States and Nationals of other states, 2006. Nigeria signed that particular convention. And the Convention on the Recognition and Enforcement of Foreign Arbitral Awards, New York, 1958, amongst many other conventions. We should therefore be concerned when government officials tell us that awards by an international court of arbitration cannot be enforced in Nigeria. It can be enforced by these conventions. Also, as party to the United Nations Convention on Jurisdictional Immunity of States and Their Property 2004, which Nigeria is also a signatory, every Nigerian should be deeply worried by the omnibus nature of sovereignty waiver clause contained in most of these loan agreements, including the status, management, and operation of this project, for which we are borrowing heavily for. We have also noted comments on the facts that National Assembly approved these loans. So why turn around to prove it now? Well, I remember stating in our last meeting here that executive scrutiny and oversight by the legislature on government policies, programs, and projects can be done at the beginning, during implementation, and at the end of implementation. That's why we are the watchdog to other arms of government. From our experience, the MDA signed these commercial agreements in billions of dollars, then go to the President and Federal Executive Council for approval to execute, including securing loan facility through Ministry of Finance and Debt Management Office, and then proceed to negotiate terms of this loan before coming back to Mr. President, who then write to the National Assembly asking for approval for billions of dollars to do projects without attaching negotiated loans and commercial contracts agreement details. That's why we're on this job. This has been the practice by successive governments, not only APC government, so that people don't look at it as a party issue. The National Assembly have assumed the authority to deal with the issues now and for all. That's why we're on this mission. So it cannot be blamed to the APC government alone. And that's why I say, my colleagues, these are not an PDP, APC issue. It's the issues of Nigeria. that we must deal with, so that the general public should know that. This approach is the reason we have a government representative signing empty pages of loans agreement repayment schedule and other key documents required for the loans agreement to become effective. We have commercial contracts signed in US dollar, while the loan agreement for the execution of the same contracts were signed in Chinese yuan currency in the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy Galaxy Backbone Limited. We have also seen reference made in the commercial contract regarding BOQs, but none of the commercial contracts agreements submitted to us, especially by Ministry of Transportation, has a single BOQ attachment. We have noticed from documents available to us that commercial contract prices signed by Federal Ministry of Transportation alone, within this is over 33 billion US dollars, without any clear-cut financing arrangements. Most of these commercial contracts agreements didn't also have local content clauses and were witnessed by non-properly designated and authorized officials who have checked the documents, where even a deputy director signed when there's a director of that office, where also other officials sign without designations. We have also seen those. The documents are here. There are also observable issues relating to procurement process, evidence of 15% advance payment, payment of management fees, drawdown process, and remittance, and a whole lot of other matters, which we are strongly poised to ask questions on and hopes to get honest answers that will fine-tune the current process. Plans for possible renegotiations of some of these agreements in order to serve Nigerians better. We also witnessed where a senior person from ministries of foreign affairs in Chinese government makes some comment that those clauses doesn't matter. So that calls for renegotiations, and let them remove those clauses that doesn't matter. So these are some of the issues we will be asking questions about and seeking clarifications from both the negotiators, managers, and end users, stroke implementing agencies. Lenders and the contractors enable Nigeria to understand everything relating to these bilateral loans and contractual agreements. On all major infrastructure projects being executed by the government, we believe that we can't keep approving loans without asking relevant questions and address these practices which date back, as I said, not only APC government, but successive government in Nigeria. I'm a PDP man. It existed during PDP time, and it's continued to exist even now, and worse. I therefore would like to use this opportunity to call on key actors and all stakeholders to stop the politicization of what we are doing here. For us, if you believe in the progress and sustainable development of our country, then you should naturally cooperate with the works of this committee to see to it that there is guarantee of value for money in all government expenditures and borrowing plans, as well as government policies, programs, and projects. I want to sincerely thank my honorable distinguished colleagues, the honorable ministers who have honored the well-constituted institutions, DGs of agencies, parastatals, and the pressmen and women. I want to thank you for listening. Section 16(1), page 13, under the loan content obligation of the contractor. Article 16(1) stated, the contractor shall develop and submit to the employer Ministry of Transport for its approval a local content plan for the training and engagement of Nigerian labor force in all aspects of the contractor works on the project. it contains in that agreement. Can you provide this honorable committee with satisfied copies of labor plan, training programs carried out, and beneficiaries, and evidence of number of Nigerians working in all aspects of this project vis-a-vis their Chinese counterpart as provided in that agreement document?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I've been trying to manage myself since you made your speech, so I'll give you a slight response to your speech and I'll answer your question. The slight response to your speech is that I will repeat here that we need to be more patriotic than we have been. Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
No, sir. I have a right to speak.
Please, I'm
giving
giving
him
right.
Because you invited me.
I'm giving him right to speak.
You have invited me. I was once a member of the House, so I know the right of the guest that you invited. Now, Mr. Chairman, if you say Minister of Transport had a contract of 33 billion, we want to see it. Because as Minister for Transport, the only contract we've awarded so far is $1.6 billion contract for Lagos-Ibadan, which is under threat. Can
you speak to the questions I asked you now? You see, I told you from the beginning.
I have a choice.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
I have two choices.
Please, please.
You gotta let me speak, or I stop.
Excuse me. We are guided by rules. And
sir.
I'm coming. Just a minute.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm coming. Just a minute.
Guidance, please.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Please, just a minute. This is rules which we obey. From day one, I said when we ask questions, we will time, you answer the question directly. We wouldn't want to go from question.
Mr. Chairman, the implication of having a $3 billion contract is that I will have a large number of workers. Mr. Chairman, there is no $33 billion contract in Ministry of Transport. What we have in Ministry of Transport is $1.6 billion contract awarded under President Buhari and an $800 million contract awarded by President Goodluck Jonathan. If it is a $1.6 billion contract, which is all we know, because by the time we came, the contract awarded by President Goodluck Jonathan, signed by Aganga, had been completed 80%. So we did not have to do anything of local content or local content. The only one that we have to deal with the issue of local content, which is the only contract that we have for now, is the $1.6 billion contract awarded from Lagos to Ibadan. $1.6 billion, for which Chinese government is providing 1.2, and we are providing the remaining $400 million. Mr. Chairman, there are over 20,000 workers. Only 560 of them are Chinese. 560, and I wish to submit the document.
Can we have the document?
Because we need to begin to say the truth to Nigerians.
Can we have the document?
Mr. Chairman, I beg to submit the document. Don't worry, I know the House will raise them.
I know when to raise that. Can you sign this document, please? Please, please.
Fine. So, Mr. Chairman, for over 20 to 30,000 workers, you have only 560 Chinese workers.
Can you adopt it?
How else do you adopt it? Bring it, I'll adopt it for you. Because it's good to tell Nigerians the truth. This is very political.
Nobody is telling lies.
And I will show all the contracts awarded by the PDP government since you want to bring this up.
Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, guidance.
I beg. I'm in control of this committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I will observe you when the need arises.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please, the minister is speaking, and I will not observe any other members. Please, let the minister finish his speech. I will give you room to talk.
Thank you, Chairman.
So, Mr. Chairman, the contract awarded by this government by this government is $1.2 billion contribution by the Chinese, and the $400 million about that by the federal government of Nigeria. And we have.
Can you speak to this document? Please, you have provided documents. How many Nigerians are in this document?
I say we employed over 10 to 20,000 workers.
Not over. Just give me a
exact. Oh, then you have to allow me go back. Please,
and get the workers. Can you give me exact? Because
I will give you the exact.
That's why I say if you speak to the document.
I'll give you the exact numbers of
Please
workers.
do now.
I will. You asked about training. Mr. Chairman, over 150 Nigerians are in China being trained as engineers.
Can we have documents of Nigerians that you have taken to China, please?
We'll provide that for you.
Can we have the document, please?
Okay, well, they say he didn't ask us, so we'll bring it. If you're asking for it now, we'll bring it for you.
Can you
later.
bring that document tomorrow?
We'll give it to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Now, apart from that, they have built 2 training institutions. One in Idu, and I would like the chairman to come and visit. We are also building a university in Daura.
Can you also provide a Chinese counterpart that are working in those projects?
Which project?
That project.
I've given you the total number of the Chinese, sir.
Is that?
I've given you the total number of the Chinese workers.
Is he here?
Yes.
Is among this one?
Yes.
It's okay. Please, can you refer me to it?
Refer to how?
Can you refer me to the aspect of where Chinese people that are working there?
What we did is we provided you with all the names of Chinese workers on that project.
My question separated. How many Nigerians
what?
that are working in that project?
Which project? Which project now?
So the document you submitted now.
This document provides for you all the Chinese workers on the Lagos-Ibadan, what is asked for. Lagos-Ibadan, these are all the Chinese working on that project.
Okay, what of the Nigerians?
We just told you here now that since you're asking for it now, we'll provide it to you tomorrow.
Okay, you don't have the Nigerians?
Because you didn't ask for it, so tomorrow we'll provide it for you.
It's okay.
And there are over 10,000.
I gave you that document, you didn't reply it.
Which document?
We wrote to you.
I didn't see that.
To provide that to us.
I didn't see that, Mr. Chairman.
Please, clerk, can you give me that document? We wrote to him, please.
So, Mr. Chairman.
I'm coming. We'll take it step by step. Chinese. What am I saying? What do you now need after that one? The letter is clear. Just as I didn't want to hold you. Listen, Mr. Minister. I respect you a lot. I didn't want to hold you to it. That's why I didn't speak to it initially. The documents was forwarded to you, and we expected you to send those documents to us. But you didn't. I just want to pick you up on particular documents you submitted to us. We needed further clarification. We wouldn't have been arguing all these ones if you have provided those clarifications. So we expect that by tomorrow you get the extra document. No, but taking you on this, are you aware, Mr. Honorable Minister, of the $11.1 billion on Nigerian Coastal Railway project that was signed on 1st of July 2016?
Has the loan been approved?
I'm asking you, are you aware?
I'm aware, but has the loan been approved?
You see, sometimes I allow you to make a lot of statements initially, and you restricted yourself to 1 or 2 key issues.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
I just want to intimate.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm coming. Can you allow me, please? You see, it's a friendly discussion. I didn't put you on oath.
Not me. If you are friendly, you won't put her on oath.
Yeah. Please, can you put the Honorable Minister on oath? Please do. Please do. The commercial agreement. Now, the contractor further covenants that it shall give priority to the engagement of Nigerian commercial firms and companies for the supply of goods and materials and all other works. Can you provide us with evidence and records of Nigerian commercial firms and companies currently being engaged and providing services of this project?
It's important, I tell you, sir, that contract was signed as a prelude to a loan, and there is no loan. And we may not get the loan because of you, Mr. Chairman. Because of the committee you've set up against the China loan, South-South, that contract is from Lagos to Calabar, which is the whole of the South-South. Mr. Chairman, we may not get that loan, so there's no contract.
I am talking about the same contract you told me of this particular...
Which of them? The 2016 contract you talked about?
Yes, this one.
Which of them? If you're talking about the South-South, you just asked me. You want to meet the South-South contract?
Virtually all the contracts.
Do you want to meet the South-South contract? If you want to meet, say you want to meet it, let's go to the other one.
Can you listen to me? Follow me. We're not quarreling.
Because you're from South-South. The committee you have set up, which you're questioning, we will lose that contract from Lagos to Calabar. So,
please, this issue is not issue of South-South, it's issue of Nigeria. And I'm serving Nigeria as a legislator. If we continue to serve our geopolitical zone, this country will not be nice. If Zone 8 gets their fair share, and next year...
Have you not approached me on South-South? Have you not approached me on South-South Rail? Have you not approached me on South-South Rail?
I have not.
You have?
I have not.
Mr. Chairman, you have approached me.
It's okay. It's okay, it's okay. We will not degenerate the issue to South-South or any other South.
Have you not approached me on South-South Rail? You have approached me.
It's okay. Temper. We'll take it small. The issue we are talking today is the issue that concerns Nigeria. My priority as this committee chairman is to make sure any area we are taking today is viable, and it will promote the economic activities of Nigeria and bring about a multiplier effect. That's my concern, and that's my philosophy, irrespective of any area you push any ray to. I'm a Nigerian, and I believe in Nigerian spirit. Now, my question is to all the projects that you're handling. The contract further covenant that it shall give priority to engagement of Nigerian commercial firms and companies for the supply of goods and materials and all other works. Can you diligently provide us with evidence and records of Nigerian commercial firms and companies currently being engaged and providing services on these projects?
Which of the contracts?
On these projects.
Which of the projects? Now?
Any of the one.
You read one on Coastal
Any
Rail.
of the one I've listed, even including your Lagos one.
Okay, so let's start with Coastal Rail. There is no contract on Coastal Rail.
It's okay.
What I mean by there is no contract is until you get the loan, there is no contract.
It's okay.
And the implication is that we may not get the loan, so there will be no contract.
It's okay.
Okay. The Lagos Ibadan.
Yeah.
I'm not the contractor. He will supply us at the end of the contract.
Did you sign this agreement on this commercial contract with your ministry signed with the contractor?
First is that the contract was in existence under Obasanjo. All we did is sign the contract that was given under Obasanjo's regime. But that's not the issue. If you want the documents of the sublet contract, we'll give it to you tomorrow, sir.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
If the committee agree on that, those documents will be provided because it's not available now. That is good. Now, on issues of trade, the agreement also stated in undertaking its obligations under this article, the contractor shall, it's a command, at all times be subject to lawful directions of a general or specific nature by the supervising ministers, and the contractor shall be under obligation to comply with such directions. That's what you will sign. Honorable Minister, my legislative maestro, because I know you are an authority in the legislative arm. Can you please tell us example of some of the lawful directions you have given and your experience in complying and enforcing the above provisions of this agreement? Have you encountered any conflict of interest? What will be the consequences if the contractor fails to comply with your lawful direction?
Unfortunately, I've given no one, and I try within my responsibility not to get involved in conflict of interest, Mr. Chairman. So I've given no one, and I intend not to give except where it contravenes the terms of the contract.
It's okay. Nigerians have heard that he has given no directions. I can listen to you now.
Your mic.
Honorable Oluwole.
And result-oriented outing. Loans, be it external or local, are booked by the DMO office.
When you raise a point of observation,
Let me learn, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Sometimes I can rule you off because I want you to go to the direction.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm only trying to guide you.
You can't guide me.
Mr. Chairman, with due respect, you do respect. Mr. Chairman, with due respect, I'm your senior in this parliament and I can guide you.
Honorable member, okay. Honorable member, you are co-opted into this committee. You are co-opted into this committee.
Okay, thank you, my chairman.
I'm coming.
You have your way. You have your...
I'm in charge of this committee.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
I withdraw my question. Opinion.
Thank you very much, please. Thank you. Question 4, Honorable Minister. Article 16(2) stated, at all times and for the avoidance of doubt, the contractor shall comply with Nigerian federal or state laws, the Executive Order 003 of 2017 titled Executive Order on Support of Local Content in Public Procurement by the federal government, May 18, 2017, regulations and policies in relation to the promotion and enforcement of local content provisions in the execution of projects, whether specifically mentioned in this agreement or otherwise. Can you provide us with details of how the contractors have materially complied with these provisions?
Mr. Chairman, I hope you're not repeating yourself. And let me tell why I say I hope you're not repeating yourself. You asked me to bring the names of those who have been employed, who are Nigerians. That's local content. You asked me to bring the names of those they have sublet contract to. That's local content. Unless you want to be the general contractor, in which case it's no longer local content.
I don't think that's
Can you repeat your question? Can you repeat your question?
That shouldn't be your response at all.
Can you repeat your question? You said I should provide you with documents to show local content. You have earlier asked me to provide you with workers who are Nigerians, and I said tomorrow morning.
Is that the only local content?
Can you hold on, sir? When you said I should provide you with that, I said tomorrow. You asked me to provide you with the contractors who are Nigerians who are doing contract there. I said tomorrow I will ask the company to provide you with that. So the top question you are repeating is that you are repeating those two questions, sir.
Honorable Ministers, I say, can you provide us with details of how the contractors have complied materially with these provisions? Now, there are provisions in the contract agreements. If you are taking local content, has those contractors complied with it? It's a question of supervisions on those critical areas. If we also want to know the quality of what that project being executed is in line with the specification.
Maybe the House needs to appoint a supervising engineer. For us in Ministry of Transport, we are convinced about the quality. Nigerians are using the rail going to Kaduna from Abuja. Very soon, in September, we'll begin to use the one from Lagos to Ibadan. If the committee is in doubt of the quality of work, we'll be glad if you appoint a supervising engineering company that can come and find out that it's part of oversight function, Mr. Chairman.
It's okay for shielding the responsibility of the executive to the legislators. We'll see to it, and we'll also use it to rate the executive whether they are actually working in lines with the specification that are provided. We'll do that. We'll make that recommendations. Your question 5. In Addendum 2A, page 3 and 4 on the Lagos-Ibadan segment of the railway modernization project worth over $1.5 billion, signed on 22nd of December 2016. The contract agreement was signed by you and witnessed by one I.J. Uche Okoro, who simply identified himself as a civil servant without a designation and addressed as Federal Minister of Transport. Who is this I.J. Uche Okoro, and what is his official designation, stroke rank in the ministry?
Mr. Chairman, as a former member of the House, I'm trying hard to manage what I say so that nobody will say I'm bringing the House to ridicule. Mr. Chairman, the person who signed the paper is a civil servant. And Director of Legal is a civil servant. Who is the Permanent Secretary here? Is that not? So what does he want?
Is the man a Director of Legal?
She is a Director of Legal.
She's a Director of Legal. She didn't sign it as a Director of Legal.
If she signs as a civil servant, has she contravened the law, sir?
Any other person can sign as a civil servant.
Did they
but we must know who is
Mr. Chairman,
and
did they tell you the class of person that will sign? They didn't. They didn't say the witness must be a director or the witness must be a governor.
So you will not take a messenger to sign your document?
Well, it's the law. It's the law you pass.
Which law? Can you
the one you pass. So there's no law that said it must be.
Can you provide us with the law?
Is there a law that says it must be?
The ministers, you have gone to sign because a minister representing that ministry.
Mr. Chairman, I could refuse to go, and any other person could have signed on our behalf.
So any other person from your ministry can go and sign without your authority?
I could designate
No, I'm coming,
I
I'm
could
coming.
delegate it to anybody to sign.
You can delegate.
Yes, sir.
Because you have a portfolio. So you cannot delegate. Now, who did you delegate this position? For us to be able to attach that document to an officer who signed that document,
okay, Mr. Chairman.
You must define the particular, the designation of such officer.
Of the House is to appoint for you legislative assistants. Is that not true? Please, sir, ask the legislative assistant to read our booklet. You will see addendum 2.
Mr. Honorable Minister, I took time to go through your documents. I took time. And if that page is not available here in the document you provided.
Sorry, what's going on? Speaker, sit here. That's what I'm saying. Let's speak or sit here. Come on. Come on. Come on, you can sit here. Gentlemen, please, can we just take a break for about 10 to 15 minutes, please? Let's take a break for 10 to 15 minutes.
Can we sit down, please? Can we sit down?
Speaker is calling you.
I know. Can we sit down, please? Can we sit down? Can we sit down? Yeah, thank you very much.
Just take a break for 20 minutes.
You know, sometimes. Thank you. Honorable ministers, distinguished honorable colleagues, DGs of parastatals and agencies, honorable members of the press, we shall resume after 30 minutes break to address most of these issues again. So we'll take a 30 minutes break on this matter. Thank you.
Move. Chairman, hit your gavel now.
We're fit.
Huh?
We're fit.
Well, okay.
Hit the gavel, sir.
You can reach us in 10 minutes time. You can reach us in another 10 minutes time, 10, 15 minutes time. We are going on break.
Yeah, this document we want to read through it. You just hand it over to me. No, don't worry. I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to you. Will be forwarded to us tomorrow. That's what we expect. That document should be forwarded tomorrow. Yeah, honorable colleagues, there is only one item on the issues of Ministry of Works, and that contract execution has not really commenced. And I see no reason why we should continue to delay the Minister of Work here. So, Minister of Work, we will continue to interface with you as long as that agreement exists. And we pray that your ministry will be able to accord us that respect and interface. We want to know what is going on it. So in due course, you try to reach out to us and intimate us of the process of that contract. Thank you. So you are discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Minister.
We take two questions. $24.204 million. Signed by the Honorable Minister of Transport on the 23rd of December. I think I'm correct. Yeah, 2019. Without a witness, as shown in page 14. As shown in page. You can bring the page if you have a copy of it. As shown in page 14 of the addendum 2B. Since you are aware, there's no need asking you that question. So if you can provide it to us too.
Yeah. In fact, the head of legal is supposed to sign as witness, so better provide the documents to the committee. So tomorrow we'll provide you
it's okay because
liberation of contract in Lagos Ibadan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because I know that is a standard practice. That is Kadnakan. Yeah. I also see page 3. Also see page 3. Yeah, the agreement was signed like the one you used to sign before with the local content, was signed without a clause on local content obligations of the contractor and was witnessed by one ex-Zachary, that is Permanent Secretary, who identified his occupation as public servant from the Federal Ministry of Transport. You already defined it that it's a PS, have you?
The Permanent Secretary, it was the Permanent Secretary until...
it's good when you are signing such document. Proper thing to be done is the designation of the officer should be also be there so that we know the kind of person that are signing those documents.
Article 14 of the addendum number 3.1, which is Kaduna Rigasa, Kaduna Zaria, is part of the Kaduna Kano. You will see the local content obligations of the contractor there.
Okay, can you please show me that, please? And show the